10 Best Modern Movies Set in the 1990s. The 1990s, now firmly in the rearview mirror, have evolved into a rich wellspring of nostalgia, influencing various facets of contemporary culture. The era's music, characterized by iconic bands like Nirvana, Spice Girls, and Boyz II Men, has seen a resurgence in popularity, with 90s-themed playlists and parties transporting audiences back in time. In the world of film, references to the 90s abound, with movies like Captain Marvel and mid-90s tapping into the decade's distinctive style and sensibilities. Like the world of music, we've recently witnessed a slew of popular 90s movies and franchises being rebooted or remade, from the latest Scream installments hitting theaters after a decade-long hiatus or the recent Jumanji reboots that became surprise mega hits. This nostalgia has had further fuel added to the fire thanks to the rise of internet memes and social media, which has allowed the 90s to be constantly revisited and repurposed. Here, we take a look at 10 of the greatest movies made in the modern day, but are set in the 90s, that perfectly encapsulate the bygone era and are dripping in nostalgia. 10. Super Dark Times, 2017. Super Dark Times is a gripping and atmospheric coming-of-age thriller that delves into the dark recesses of suburban adolescence. It follows a group of high school friends whose lives take a chilling turn when a tragic accident shatters their innocence. Set in the 1990s, the movie presents a perfect reflection of the era, from the abundance of flannel and plaid shirts to the grungy soundtrack, but in essence, it's a timeless tale that could be set in any time period. Showcasing the corrosive effects of guilt and secrecy on the bonds of friendship, it masterfully blends psychological suspense with the challenges of growing up, in a hauntingly atmospheric and visually arresting manner. It's a harrowing and thought-provoking cinematic experience that lingers long after the credits roll. 9. Captain Marvel, 2019. Captain Marvel, one of Marvel's more humorous entries, offers a delightful nostalgic feast for viewers of a certain age, thanks to its multitude of 1990s references that vividly remind us of the decade it's set in. From the moment Carol Danvers crashes through the roof of a blockbuster video store, we're immediately transported back to the 90s, a world where the use of a pager was a crucial communication device and dial-up internet connection was a thing. In addition to these nods to technology of a bygone era, there's also a rocking 90s soundtrack featuring some of the biggest hits of the time from the likes of Nirvana, TLC, Salt-N-Pepa, and No Doubt. 8. Mid-90s, 2018. Skateboarding, as a sport, reached its commercial peak in the mid-1990s, igniting a cultural phenomenon that extended far beyond the sport itself. During this era, skateboarding became more than just a pastime, it evolved into a vibrant subculture with its own unique fashion and music scene to accompany it. Jonah Hill's film Mid-90s expertly captures the essence of this subculture. Through its authentic portrayal of characters and their experiences, the movie delves deep into the subculture's distinctive atmosphere. It pays meticulous attention to the fashion, showcasing the baggy clothes, oversized t-shirts, and distinct skate shoe brands that were emblematic of the time, as well as a time-appropriate soundtrack consisting of 90s alternative rock and hip-hop tracks. 7. I, Tonya, 2017. I, Tonya recounts the tumultuous life and career of figure skater Tonya Harding, whose involvement in a vicious attack on her rival, Nancy Kerrigan, shook the world in the 90s. With a blend of dark comedy and raw drama, the movie delves into the complexities of Tonya's life, from her challenging upbringing to her rise in the competitive world of figure skating. Margot Robbie's portrayal of Tonya is among her greatest performances to date, as she captures Tonya's sheer resilience and defiance amidst a whirlwind of controversy. The film doesn't merely recount the scandal but also sheds light on the media frenzy and societal judgments that surrounded it, offering a thought-provoking commentary on fame, class, and the pursuit of success. 6. The Wackness, 2008. Released in 2008, The Wackness might not be such a modern movie anymore, but still does a fine job of capturing the essence of what made the 90s such a unique decade. It captures the essence of youth, rebellion, and self-discovery in the bustling backdrop of New York City. Set in the summer of 1994, the film follows Luke Shapiro, a high school graduate and marijuana dealer played by Josh Peck, as he forms an unlikely friendship with his therapist, Dr. Squires, portrayed by Ben Kingsley. The movie masterfully intertwines humor, drama, and nostalgia as it explores the turbulence of adolescence, family dynamics, and the pursuit of happiness during a pivotal moment in the characters' lives. With a soundtrack filled with 90s hip-hop hits and a keen eye for the era's fashion and culture. 5. The Wolf of Wall Street, 2013. The Wolf of Wall Street offers a no-holds-barred portrayal of the culture of Wall Street from the late 80s into the 90s, providing a scathing and often outrageous critique of the excesses and decadence that defined the financial industry during that era. Directed by Martin Scorsese, the film is based on the real-life story of Jordan Belfort, played by Leonardo DiCaprio, who rises to power as a stockbroker and revels in a life of hedonism, greed, and corruption. It vividly illustrates the cutthroat environment of the financial world in the 1990s, where unscrupulous practices, obscene wealth, and a disregard for legal and ethical boundaries were rampant. 4. Climax, 2018. Climax is a provocative, unnerving, and often disturbing cinematic experience, directed by Gaspar Noé. The film immerses viewers in the heart-pounding world of a dance troupe that descends into chaos after unknowingly consuming a drug-laced sangria during a post-rehearsal party in the mid-90s. In true Noé fashion, the movie takes a daring and unconventional approach to storytelling and cinematography. The movie unfolds in a series of long, unbroken takes, creating an immersive and disorienting experience that mirrors the character's psychological descent. This, combined with a pulsating electronic soundtrack, delves deep into the raw and primal aspects of human behavior, capturing both the allure and horrors of a nightmarish trip that is certainly not for the faint of heart. 3. Fear Street Part 1, 1994-2021. Based on the works of acclaimed horror writer R.L. Stine, Netflix's Fear Street trilogy is presented across 3 movies, each set in a different time period. The first installment, set in 1994, revolves around a group of teenagers who must confront their town's dark history and a malevolent force that has plagued it for centuries. Instantly bringing to mind classic 90s horror movies like Scream and I Know What You Did Last Summer, it successfully taps into the spirit of 90s teen horror while also adding its unique spin to the genre, setting the stage for an intriguing trilogy that spans different time periods and styles of horror. 2. Steve Jobs, 2015. Directed by Danny Boyle, Steve Jobs is a compelling portrayal of a man who had an immense impact on the way the 1990s unfolded and the trajectory of technology as a whole, per Business News Daily. Steve Jobs, co-founder of Apple Incorporated, was not only a visionary entrepreneur, but also a cultural icon. His relentless pursuit of innovation, as depicted in the film, not only revolutionized the tech industry, but also shaped the way people communicate, work, and interact with technology in the 1990s and beyond. With a focus on his role in the creation of iconic products like the Macintosh, the film captures the essence of the digital age's formative years, showcasing Jobs' complex personality, his challenges, and his enduring legacy as a driving force behind the technological advancements that defined the 1990s and continue to influence our lives today. 1. Tick Tick Boom, 2021. Tick Tick Boom is a musical film directed by Lin-Manuel Miranda, set in the 90s. It's an adaptation of the semi-autobiographical musical by Jonathan Larson, the creator of Rent. The story follows an aspiring composer named John, played by Andrew Garfield, as he navigates the challenges of pursuing his artistic dreams in New York City. Against the backdrop of the early 90s, the film explores themes of creativity, friendship, and the pressures of turning 30 while trying to make it in the competitive world of theater. Tick Tick Boom captures the spirit of the era, with its soundtrack featuring a blend of rock and pop tunes reminiscent of the 90s music scene. It offers a poignant and nostalgic look at the pursuit of passion and the struggles that come with it during a transformative decade.